In less than 3 decades, we've gone from talking face-to-face to typing with our thumbs. What used to be a tool for connecting has now become a cold mirror, reflecting only our digital image. This documentary doesn't aim to judge, but to understand. To understand how we got here, what risks we face, and what decisions await us in the future. Every sound, every vibration, every red bubble on the screen activates a primitive system in the brain, that of instant gratification. The story of mobile technology officially begins in 1973, when the first call was made from a cell phone. But it wasn't until 2007, with the launch of the iPhone, that everything changed. If you're watching this short, I invite you to find the full video on the channel. And if you're already watching the full video, stay until the end. There's much more you need to know. Don't forget, give it a triple like, comment and subscribe. That helps us continue creating content that transforms. The mobile phone is the most used, closest and most intimate object of the 21st century. More than 80% of the world's population has one in their pocket. We check it on average 96 times a day, unlock it about 2,600 times, and spend more than 4 hours a day in front of it. But the most worrying thing isn't how much we use it, but how it's changing us. This video is our link to explore, from the perspective of psychology and sociology, the silent impact of excessive cell phone use, addiction, loneliness, and the deterioration of human connections. Since then, we've carried a device in our pocket that replaces the camera, the television, the notepad, the map, the alarm clock, the newspaper, and, in many cases, conversation. The era of digital hyperconnection was born. In less than 20 years, the cell phone went from being a luxury to a necessity. Today, more than 83% of the world's population has access to a smartphone. But what does this permanent connection really mean? Technology was created to make our lives easier, but it's taking away our attention, our patience, and our ability to be present. Psychologist Larry Rosen, in his book iDisorder, analysed how technologies generate responses similar to chemical addictions. Our brains are rewired to seek constant stimulation, he states. Studies from the University of California found that the average digital interruption occurs every 11 minutes, but it takes the brain up to 23 minutes to regain focus. In South Korea, one of the most hyper-connected countries in the world, 30% of teenagers show clinical symptoms of smartphone addiction. From a psychological perspective, technology acts as an extension of the human being. It helps us remember, communicate, and project ourselves. But when used without limits or reflection, it stops being a tool and becomes a constraint. We've never been so connected, yet so alone. According to the WHO's Global Mental Health Report 2023, feelings of loneliness in young people increased by 27% in the last decade. Sociologist Sherry Turkle, in her work Alone Together, speaks of a disturbing paradox. We choose to be together, but only superficially. We prefer messages to real conversations because that way we edit who we are. Phenomena such as nomophobia, irrational fear of being without a cell phone, digital depersonalization, a feeling of emotional disconnection from the body or real environment, deterioration of concentration. Each notification interrupts deep cognitive processes. Instead of us adapting to technology, we're adapting our emotions, time and relationships to the rhythms dictated by a screen. Studies in the UK revealed that excessive social media use is directly linked to low self-esteem and body image disorders. The phenomenon of ghosting, stopping communication without explanation, affects almost 7 out of 10 young people in social or romantic relationships. This generates anxiety, confusion, and reinforces emotional insecurity. We're not just changing how we talk, we're forgetting how to feel with others. A generation that once played with dirt and bicycles, today grows up among screens, emojis, and endless content. UNICEF warned that children between 2 and 8 years old consume up to 3 times more screen time than recommended. Not all uses of technology are the same. Based on research and social observation, 3 main levels are recognized today. Neuroscientist Michel Desmoged, author of The Digital Idiot Factory, states, "For every hour of screen time a child has, they lose opportunities to develop language, attention, creativity and empathy." A Canadian study, 2021, showed that children exposed to more than 2 hours of screen time a day had 13% lower cognitive scores than those with controlled use. Adults are not exempt from this silent revolution either. The so-called digital fatigue affects more than 63% of office workers, according to Microsoft, 2023. Functional use, useful, controlled, for specific purposes. Compulsive use, constant need to check the cell phone, even without reason. Dependent use, deterioration in other areas of life due to prioritizing technology. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, in his book Focus, explains it this way. We live fragmented. We jump from one stimulus to another without stopping, but deep attention is the key to emotional intelligence and real productivity. Each technological interruption at work represents a loss of up to 40% in cognitive efficiency, according to Harvard Business Review. We check emails while we eat dinner, we answer messages while we drive, we live busy, but disconnected from what matters. This classification helps us observe our own relationship with the cell phone. It's not about prohibiting, but about recognizing the limits before they completely disappear. We live in a society of immediacy. We want everything fast, brief, digested. It's not about abandoning technology. It's about regaining control over how, when, and why we use it. The digital minimalism movement, proposed by author Cal Newport, invites us to use technology only when it adds clear value to real life. It's not a rejection of digital, but a defense of our attention and purpose. Social media and smartphones have transformed language, relationships, self-esteem, and the perception of time. In many urban cultures, the cell phone is not just a tool, but a status symbol. It has become almost unthinkable to share an important moment without documenting it, and so the real present becomes future content. In countries like Norway or Japan, there are already screen-free schools and companies that promote limited digital hours. Turning off your cell phone for an hour isn't going backward. It's reconnecting with real life. Look someone in the eye, listen without interruptions, remember what it feels like to be present. In a world that wants us distracted, being focused is a revolutionary act. Yes, revolutionary. But do we really want to focus on anything? Your help can make a difference. This project wouldn't be possible without people like you. If you like what we do and want to support us, scan the QR code you see on the screen and make your donation. The amount doesn't matter. Every contribution adds up and brings us closer to our goal, to learn and share what contributes to well-being and human development. Thank you for being part of this project. Technology will continue to advance. That's inevitable. But what we can choose is how we integrate it into our lives. We can keep reacting to the screen, or we can start building moments where the cell phone isn't the center. Moments of silence, moments of direct eye contact, moments of truth. True connection doesn't require a signal. It requires presence. It requires listening. It requires time. Thank you for making it this far. Keep visiting us to discover more theories, ideas, and reflections on the changes we are experiencing and how we can face them with awareness and humanity. See you at the next little step.